I absolutely love having automated roller blinds in our house. We actually have quite a nice setup that uses two blinds. Firstly, an automatic blackout blind and then a manual sheer blind in front for privacy in the daytime. And I really like this and think it's a really good format. In the bedroom though, we tweaked the format a little bit, and instead of having the sheer blind, we have sheer curtains, and then we have another more cosmetic curtain in front of that, which we can use as an alternative to the blackout blind when we want to have a window open or something that would cause issues with the blackout blind. I've always wondered what it would take to get a normal pair of curtains fully automated, and kind of just assumed the complexity or cost would outweigh the benefit. But the curtain product from SwitchBot goes a long way to addressing that. I was sent this for free, but as always, this video is just my honest opinion. So firstly, the basic principle of these is that they're just motors that roll along your existing curtain rail, and they sit just behind the curtain out of sight and bring the end of the curtain with them as they go. And they actually have 3 different versions that work with rods or 2 kinds of track. I had rods, but the cheap telescoping ones from IKEA, so I was concerned as to how it would actually handle that. And the product comes with a stiff foil wrapper that can be used to smooth out the difference between the 2 rod diameters. The trouble with that is that it looks really unsightly. But now that I know how well they work, I think it's actually just worth getting a solid rod to get the most out of the product. And this is about improvement, of course, not compromise. So now on to how it deals with different types of curtain. Again, this is an area where I think it's worth thinking about this as a whole system rather than just an add-on to whatever you currently have. And as a result, potentially changing to the best type of curtains to work with these, which I think must be the grommet type for the lack of resistance and also the natural way the curtain itself can hide the motor. They say it works with grommet type curtains, curtains with hanging rings, tabs, as well as back tabs, which is what I have here. You also get these accessories, a bunch of plastic clips and a transparent slotted ribbon, which are supposed to be used with the grommet curtains, where the clips go on the top edge and are joined by the ribbon to ensure even spacing of the pleats. But they also say the clips should be used on back tab curtains without the ribbon, presumably to stop bunching and jamming, and you're supposed to clip them on in line with the rod and at the top of the tab. In my experience though, this actually caused more of a problem than without them. They just overlapped each other and bunched up, and they stopped the curtains going all the way back. Half the time they didn't stay on the right place on the tab either. The main issue overall though is still the pleats not spreading out evenly. I normally even them out by hand when I'm closing them manually. Speaking of closing them manually, they do have a really interesting feature where you can just tug the curtains and they'll take over and do the rest for you. And this is a really excellent feature, as it means very minimal instruction needs to be given to people when you have them visiting. The Grommet accessory kit is obviously designed to solve the pleat evenness issue, but looks again really unsightly. And I thought about just installing that kit on my back tab curtains in the same way they say you should do it for grommet curtains. But I don't think it would work just because the pleats don't hang off behind the rod as they do with the grommet type. And of course the visibility issue would be even more pronounced as well. I think a bit of thread connected to each tab at the back would solve this though, and of course wouldn't be visible from the front either. So again, their ambition to trying to solve the issues here is commendable, but the given solution I think does remain a bit too visible and a bit too clunky. The motors do have a quiet mode that you can enable, but I couldn't get it to work consistently, which actually the app did say might happen, and I suspect with the continuous rod and grommet curtains it would work a lot better. There's 8 months of battery life, which if that's true is amazing. There's also a solar panel available too, which claims to keep them charged. The trouble is they aren't in the light when the curtains are open in the day, so I'm not quite sure how effective they'll be. Like all SwitchBot products, this can be set up to work remotely and as part of scenes using their Hub Mini. I look at this in more detail in the video for the bot product, so I'm not going to go into that here. The SwitchBot app is a good offering though. Again, lots of attention to detail, and you're guided through the initial setup smoothly. The initial setup is a case of moving each side to its open and closed positions to calibrate it, then each side works together in actual operation. So to conclude, this is a really brave product that tackles an unusually complex problem and even manages to deal with it surprisingly well. But it is going to require some fiddling to get it looking and working how you want. I make films on design, usability and workflow, so do consider subscribing and exploring the channel. Thanks for watching, and I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.